Hello, I'm Jessica Ryan Keeney. I am the attorney for Lassen County Department of Child Support Services and Plumas County Department of Child Support Services. We are two very small counties in Northern California. This video is going to go over using Turbo Court for Department of Child Support Services child support cases. And I will warn you that the video was recorded a few months ago. So it makes reference in the beginning to Turbo Court being Catalyst. You're not going to see that when you log on to, when you go to Turbo Court right now. The rest of the video is still good though. So hope you enjoy. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe, ding the bell so that you get notifications when we upload new videos. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. Our answers will not be legal advice, but the questions do make for good conversation, and sometimes they give us ideas for videos. This is a pretty long video, so it's going to be broken up into multiple parts. I'm not quite sure how many parts yet, but thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Hopefully you find this video helpful.
Here we are. I've done a Google search for Turbo Court, and you can either select this option or you can select California. I'm going to select this option, and you'll notice that it says Turbo Court is now Catalyst. I'll go back. If I hadn't selected that option and just selected California, then you'd never know that Turbo Court is now called Catalyst because it's very much Turbo Court, and it says Catalyst down here. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there so that if anyone sees that, they don't go, what? I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, so now I'll go back to the first link. So click it. Here we come to this opening screen, and I'm sure over time this opening screen is going to change. And as I said, we're here because we're opening a child support case. And even if you're not the one who asked to open the case, you're going to come here if your case is being opened and you need to fill out those documents for DCSS. So we're going to click to begin, and it takes us to Turbo Court's page. And this is what we would have seen if we clicked on California, I believe. I'll go back and we'll do that. So if we click on California, this is what we get. Okay, there we go. So if you click on California from the Google search, you can skip a couple screens. If we don't click on California at the Google search, then we got to click California. Now we're at the same screen as if we'd chosen California from the Google search screen. Okay, so cool. We're here, and there are all these options. And yes, child support is family law, but that's not the option we're going to select. We're going to come down here to child support, Department of Child Support, and then click the child support link because your case is with the Department of Child Support Services, and this applies in California only, of course. And here we're going to click the link that says apply for child support services or request modification of the court. If you click here on income and expense declaration, it's not going to take you to the paperwork that DCSS needs to open up your case, or when you're filing, or when you've requested a modification. So it doesn't matter if you're opening the case or if you want the case opened. If DCSS needs you to fill out paperwork for the first time because a case is being opened, you're going to click here. Also, you're going to click there if we're doing a modification. I'll do a video on that later. Okay, so jurisdiction, you're going to scroll down to your county. And I'm just going to scroll through because, it looks like it has counties that don't actually do Turbo Court because I'm also the Plumas DCSS attorney, and I'm pretty sure we don't do Turbo Court there. But anyway, make sure that you go to the county that your case is in. And then location is already selected, Department of Child Support Services. You can go ahead and read through all of this stuff on your own. We're going to click Next. And I don't have an account set up. So if you don't have an account set up, now's the time to set up your account. If you do have your account set up, then you would just enter your username and password and log on. but I don't have one set up, so I'm going to go through the sign up process, and you will see me in the next video clip. And the next video clip is going to pick up right after we create an account and then sign in. Funny thing, I went to set up my account and it said the email address already existed. Apparently, I've already been into Turbo Court. I have no recollection of this. So anyway, at this point, we are signed in and I clicked next. See, next. And we're just going to go through these prompts. So I've not seen this before. And so I'm just like you, looking at this for the first time, or maybe you haven't looked at it for the first time. Maybe you're a returning participant, but I'm looking at this for the first time. So there's some information for us up here. Welcome to Child Support Services website for Lassen County. And of course, you're going to be in the county in which your case is in. Important. This program can help you if you want to establish paternity, obtain child support and medical support orders, enforce existing court orders, request a modification or respond to a modification of an existing child support order. You can only do so if you already have an open case with your local child support agency. So don't go trying to request a modification of a child support order if you don't already have an open case with your county. And if the first order for child support hasn't been established. Okay, you cannot do the following: get a divorce, obtain custody, visitation, or spousal support orders, obtain restraining orders, prepare documents for the court. So this here is just so that you can fill out documents for DCSS. Okay, so we're going to go to next. I encourage you to read this stuff down here, but we're just going to click next. What would you like to do? Select the option that applies to your situation. I want to open a case to request support services. I am responding to a mandatory review notice. I want to request a review modification of a support order. I already have an open case with the local child support agency. I want to respond to a request for a review or modification of a support order. I want to complete an income and expense declaration. Because we're filling out the opening paperwork, we're going to click, I want to open a case to request support services. And so it doesn't matter if you're not the one opening the case. It doesn't matter if you actually want to open the case or not. This is the option you need to click when you need to fill out the opening documents for DCSS. I asked the case managers what they wanted everyone to know, and they were pretty emphatic about what I just told you about clicking that option. Your role in this case. Tell us about your role in this case. Are you the custodial party of the children for whom you are requesting support services? If you're the party that has the majority of custody of the children, then you're the custodial party. And in the DCSS system, you're also the custodial party even if you don't have the majority of custody, but you're the one receiving support. And it's uncommon that happens, but that's how it comes. That's how it is. And so you'll also hear DCSS refer to the non-custodial party as the parent paying support. And that term makes it a whole lot more clear when we're dealing with those unusual situations in which the parent with the most timeshare is actually the parent paying child support. And then, the new term now for custodial party is parent receiving support. And so what does a custodial party mean? If you click on that, it says the custodial party is a person has primary custody of the children, which means the person has control of a child, including the right and responsibility to make major decisions regarding the child, such as education, upbringing, etc. This can be either parent or other caretaker of the child. And I don't really like this explanation, but they didn't ask me when they wrote it, because there are cases in which the parent who's paying support, the non-custodial party, has decision-making power regarding the child's education and upbringing. and they have major decision-making power, and they in fact share it with the other parent. So for the most part, just keep in mind that the custodial party is the party who has the majority of parenting time. The non-custodial party is the party who does not have the majority of parenting time. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. And we're going to say in this example, we're the non-custodial party, just because we so frequently have case participants who are the non-custodial party, and they don't want to click that first link because I don't want this. I didn't open this, but it's the correct link. Okay, so we're the non-custodial party. And we're going to click next. Already did that. Here we are. Your relationship to the children. According to the information you have provided, you are the non-custodial parent in this case. What is your relationship to the children? And the non-custodial party can be the mother or the father. And in this case, non-custodial party is going to be mother. Click next. Custodial party's relationship to the children. According to the information you've provided, you are the mother of the children. What is the custodial party's relationship to the children? So this is what's the other party's relationship. And in this case, we'll say the custodial party is father. But sometimes the custodial party isn't a parent at all. You know, it can be a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a neighbor. In some cases, the child or children end up in the custody of someone other than their parent. But in this case, we've got mom and dad. I'm mom, the non-custodial party. Dad here is going to be the custodial party. We're going to save this just to make sure that if the computer crashes, we don't lose our information. So save often, save early and save often. Click next. Disclosure of your address or other information. Click on the button that applies to your situation. I'm requesting that my address or other identifying information not be given to the other party in this case. The disclosure of my address or other information identifying my location could be harmful to me or the children in my case. The other option is the disclosure of my address or other information identifying my location is not harmful to me or the children in my case. And so, if there's a domestic violence situation, and it doesn't necessarily mean there has to be a domestic violence restraining order, but if there's a domestic violence situation or something else is going on in your case where you are afraid of yours or the children's safety or both, if the other party knows your address, then you're going to click this button. But if you're not afraid for your safety, if the other part or the children's safety, if the other party knows your address, you're going to click this option. And, generally speaking, DCSS is not going to share your address with the other party. We go to great lengths to keep that information private. Now, if you fail to redact your address from documents, then your address is going to be revealed to the other party. So let's just say in this situation that I'm fearful of dad having my address. And in this situation, I'm the non-custodial party, so I'm not afraid of dad knowing where the children is because the children are with him. So we're going to do this just to see how these documents turn out. Now we're going to click next. So we're going to provide our name. I wish this didn't auto-populate. And so Jessica, AR for Ann Ryan, Keeney is my name, and then I would put my maiden name or other names used if applicable. So we have situations where we have case participants who've gotten remarried and their name has changed, or their name now is different than it is on previous court documents. It'd be a good idea to fill in your maiden name in here. I'm going to try to provide actually everyone knows my middle name is Ryan. So I used to go by just Jessica Ryan, and now Ryan is a middle name. If you have any other names you used to go by, fill those out. This will help the department link you up with your other cases, or your other names, I mean. Okay, provide the following information about the other parent of the children. Well, you've already seen here that the name Lauren pops up, so let's use Lauren as the other parent. And his last last name is going to be Keeney as well, and he's never gone by any other names. Sometimes guys do go by other names, but usually it's us ladies who've gone by other names. Gonna save early and save often. Now we're going to click next. And let's see, important. The child support program must send child support computer records to the federal government. The federal government will give this information to the courts, child support agencies, and sometimes the other parent of your child. If you or your child is a victim of family violence, we will tell the federal government and they will not give out your information without a court order. So if there's been any domestic violence or family violence, you're going to want to be sure to identify this in this paperwork. Provide the following information. Have you or your child, in your case, ever been a victim of family violence or child abuse committed by Lauren Keeney? So I'm going to say no, and of course I have not been there has been no family violence between Lauren or me in this hypothetical situation or in real life. So if anyone knows Lauren, don't be thinking that you're learning any interesting information about us. Do you have a restraining order, emergency protective order, or stay away order against Lauren? And in this case, the answer is no. Now, if you had domestic violence or family violence against you or the other or the kids, and the other party was a perpetrator, you're going to want to select yes. And you can select yes, there's been family violence without there ever being a restraining order. That is not uncommon. And if there's been a restraining order protecting you against the other party, then you're going to want to click yes. Or if you're the custodial parent, there's been a restraining order protecting the kids from the other party, you're going to want to click yes. But for this hypothetical, I'm just afraid of Lauren. I'm not afraid of him in real life, but in the hypothetical I am. There's been no family violence, and I don't have a restraining order. Now I'm going to click next. Okay, important. Your personal information is never given to Lauren Keeney without a court order. The only exception is if the filing of records or documents with the court in connection with certain court proceedings. So if I put my address on court documents, or I fail to redact my address from anything that ends up being an attachment, it's going to go to Lauren. Is your home address in the U.S.? Yep, it is. Okay, and so here is where we're going to fill out our address, and darn it, I wish this wouldn't auto-populate, because now you can see the addresses I use, but a couple of them you already know. I will use my other office address. Here we're using the address of my private office. Usually for these, I just make up an address, but since you can already see it, I might as well use it. Okay, and then what phone number or phone numbers can you be reached at? And so home phone, work phone, cell phone. I'm going to fill out my cell phone, and my cell phone's a matter of public record because I use it for business anyway. This is not an invitation to come and call me on my cell phone. And then provide your email address, if any. And so I'll use my law practice email address. And I'm going to get rid of the phone number here because I really just have one. So, yep, there's my contact information for DCSS. I'm going to save it. No, I don't want you to store that, Google. Now click next. Now we will ask you about the children for whom you are requesting support. Give the following information for each minor child: name, date of birth, place of birth, sex, social security number, services provided by another child support agency, if any. If there's more than one child, start with the oldest and finish with the youngest. How many children do you have? Well, let's just say that Lauren and I have 2. That way we can see what happens when we need to fill out information for 2. So we're going to click next, and we're going to go with the oldest, and we're going to say that the oldest is Lauren Jr. So Lauren Keeney Jr. And his date of birth, I'm going to end up forgetting this make-believe date of birth later, but we're going to say it's 01/01/2015. Hopefully I'll be able to remember that. Okay, and Lauren is a male, just like his dad. And his place of birth, we will say, was Susanville, California. Does your child currently live with you? So it is possible to be the non-custodial parent and have your child live with you. I went over that. It's also possible to be the non-custodial parent and have a 50-50. But for our purposes, because it's the most common situation, we're going to say that the child doesn't currently live with us or live with me. We're going to save. We're going to click next. I don't know how the system will react if I say yes and I have like 25% parenting time, because, technically the child lives with me 25% of the time. Okay, let's do that. Lauren Jr. does live with me, but only 25% of the time. Let's see how this pans out. Let's see. County Department of Child Support Services is required to collect Social Security numbers. Selecting Social Security numbers is mandatory. Collecting under federal law. Social Security numbers are kept on file to establish, modify, or enforce child support orders. You can still get services even if your child does not have a Social Security number. So I'm going to say that I can't provide Lauren Jr.'s Social Security number. Lauren Sr. has that information. I don't. It is going to be really important if you do have your children's Social Security number to give that to the department. My dad had some funny notions about what it meant to give government agencies your Social Security number. He felt like it was a way for the government to track you, which it is. And he had some other more interesting beliefs. He also felt like it was illegal for a Social Security number to be asked for. But as we saw, federal law requires it. And DCSS is going to put the Social Security numbers of everyone into their system. And they're going to be used to make sure that all of the correct case participants and children are connected and that money and paperwork goes in the right places in the right cases. And if you call the Department of Child Support Services and you need your case manager or someone who's not familiar with your case even to look up your case and you have a really common name, like if your name is Matt Smith, then giving your Social Security number is going to be a really convenient way for DCSS to find your case. I don't know how many Lauren Keeneys are in the system. I don't have a business purpose to check, so it would be unlawful for me to do that. But if you haven't given the department your Social Security number, then if they're having trouble finding your name because there's 10,000 Matt Smiths, you're gonna have to wait for a while for them to dig you up. And then there are times when they can use a court case number, but we're opening a case, so there's no court case number. And sometimes courts change how they number their files, and so the court case number that you see on your existing order might be different than the court case number that DCSS has in their system. So please, please, please give DCSS your Social Security number and your kid's Social Security number. So in our hypothetical, dad is not receiving cash aid, but if the other parent is receiving cash aid, click yes, and if you don't know, then click I don't know. And now we're going to click next. Okay, child 1, Lauren Keeney Jr. Any other services provided? Oh, let's go back. This is asking, has Lauren Keeney Jr. ever received cash aid, not Lauren Sr. I knew I was going to confuse myself by giving this case a junior. Anyway, Lauren Keeney Jr. has not received cash aid either. But if he ever did, I would click yes. Okay, now we're going to move on. Have services for Lauren Keeney Jr., this is the child, been provided by any other child support agency? If the answer is yes, click it. If the answer is no, click it. If you don't know, click I don't know. Save that and move on. Child 2. What shall child 2's name be? Let's say Ann Keeney. Give her my middle name. And her date of birth is going to be Halloween of 2017. And she's a female. And she was also born in Susanville. And can't forget to mention that it's Susanville, California. And she currently lives with me part-time too. And you're probably hearing lots of noise from outside. Yesterday, there was a car across the street from my office doing burnouts in the tire store parking lot. And they did it for quite a while, and it sounds like they're back today. So we might hear that. Sorry, I can't help it. Now we're going to click next. And let us see. Okay, this is about the social security numbers. Nope, I don't have Anne's social security number either. Dad's got that. That'd be Lauren Sr. So save. Next. You don't have to click save every time, but I advise it. Has Anne Keeney ever received cash aid or welfare? Nope. Next. Have services for Anne Keeney been provided by another child support agency? Nope. Next. Are you currently pregnant by Lauren Keeney? Nope. I'm going to save that. And next. Custodial parent info. Introduction. According to the information you have provided, you are the non-custodial parent in this case. In this section, we will ask you to provide information about yourself. Date and place of birth, physical description, social security number, driver's license number, name, address, phone number of work or last job, union or self-employment information, the names and phone numbers of friends or family. So we're going to click next. Are you and Lauren Keeney married to each other now? So if the answer is yes, then you're going to click yes. If the answer is no, then you're going to click no. Okay, if no, have you and Lauren Keeney ever been married to each other? And I'm going to say no. In reality, we are indeed married, but for the sake of this, we're not. In this situation, if you have ever been married to the other party, you're going to click yes. Proceed. According to the information you have provided, you are not married to Lauren Keeney. Tell us about your current marital status. What is your present marital status? Single, married, divorced, separated, living with another person, widowed, and I'm going to say, let's go back and see what I said. So I said Lauren and I have never been married, so I'm single. I'm not currently married. I'm not divorced from anyone. I'm not separated from anyone. I mean, you could say, oh, my boyfriend and I just broke up. We're separated. But no, I'm thinking that they're referring to like a legal separation, or if you were married, but you guys are separated, not legally separated, but you're not living together as a married couple with the intent to reconcile, and you're probably going to end up divorced. I would choose separated if that were the situation. Living with another person. So if I were living with a boyfriend, I would click this, or widowed. I suppose if I had a roommate, clicking this would technically be correct. I don't know how this is going to affect, well, it's present marital status, and living with a roommate isn't a marital status. So if you're living with a roommate, I wouldn't click living with someone else because it's not marital status. But if I were living with my boyfriend, I would put living with another person, even though that's not marital status. It's a relationship status. So that's how I'd handle that. And next, other children. Are you requesting support services for the following children? Lauren Keeney Jr., Anne Keeney. It says I am. You are. Yes, I am. Do you have other children different from the children listed above? So if you have any children from any other relationships, then you are going to click yes. And if you don't have children from other relationships, you're going to click no. Save it and move on. And date of birth. Let's say that I am that I was born on Halloween of 1982, just like my dear daughter, born on Halloween. And I'm female, and I am white, so click Caucasian. Primary language spoken at home, English. Obviously, you're going to fill out these things as they apply to you. I'm going to say I was born in Susanville, California, United States. And yes, I'm a citizen. Nope, I'm not a tribal member. Again, you're going to answer this as it applies to you. My height is 5 feet 4 inches. I've gained a few pounds recently, so I'm gonna say I'm 160, and my hair color is brown, my eye color is blue, my complexion, sometimes I'm tan. Well, it won't let me keep going. Yeah, sometimes I'm tan. That works for me. Describe identifying features, if any. 6 lines max. Do not type in all caps. So I mean, I wear glasses, but I could take them off. I don't know how good of an identifying feature that would be, but I'm going to put that on. I wear glasses. I usually wear a ponytail. Is ponytail one word? I'm terrible at spelling. And if you have any tattoos, Grammarly wants me to say usually wears a ponytail, and that would go along with wears glasses. So if you're describing yourself and you have any tattoos, go ahead and put them there, the tattoos there. If you're someone who, say, has brown hair and just has one gray spot that stands out that you don't dye, I'd put that there. If you have a birthmark on your, a visible birthmark, I'd go ahead and put that there. If you have a notable mole on your arm and it's usually covered up by a sweatshirt or something, I would still put it there. So let's just say I have birthmark on upper right arm. I don't, but for this I do. And this information can be used in trying to identify someone for service. And I'm going to say next. And do I have a social security number? Well, I do, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. And this is nice because this blocks out your social security number when you're typing it. And you have to retype it to make sure that you typed it correctly. Do I have a driver's license? I sure do. And I'm not going to reveal that here either. We're just going to say that it's all zeros and it's from California. So obviously you're going to put your correct driver's license in here, number, your correct social security number. That's going to be important identifying information and an important way for the department to make sure that they match up your records with the correct person. Are you currently on probation or parole? No, but if I were, I'd check yes. Are you currently in jail or prison? No, but if I were, I'd check yes. And, this seems kind of nosy, but whether or not you're currently in jail could affect your child support order. Probation and parole might affect it as well, but really it's that prison or jail that affects it major league. Are you currently in active military? No, but if I were, I'd click yes, and it's important to be honest with these. So if you're active duty military, you are afforded certain protections under the law, and so you definitely want to tell, let's if you're deployed in active duty military, you're afforded those protections. But by checking yes, if you're active duty military, you're going to tell the department to be on the lookout for whether or not you're deployed. Is your mother alive? Technically, yes. One of my moms is alive, so I'm going to say yes. And she is legally my mom. I'm going to go next. According to the information you have provided, your mother is alive. Can you provide any information about her? Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to say yes, just so that we see what the screen looks like. So you're going to click here all of the information that you can provide. Okay. And we're going to say that my mom's name is Nancy. And we're going to say that her last name is Smith because I'm super original. Totally joking. And then she doesn't live with me. She lives at 123 Main Street in any city in California. I don't know what the zip code is for any city. I haven't made that up. So we'll just say it's all zeros. And her phone number, there you go. So obviously you're going to fill this out completely and correctly for your own situation. Oh, I'm going to have Google save that because I like to use any city a lot. Next. Now we will ask you about your friends and other relatives. Can you provide any information about any of your friends or relatives? And if I could, I would click yes, but I can't, so I'm going to click no.